When all your documents follow the same exact structure, extracting data from them using AI can be easy. But what if you have a dozen types of documents, whether it's invoices, contracts, proposals, that do not follow the same template? This is where single-class document extraction comes to the rescue. It helps make sure that you can extract metadata from unstructured content without having to create a separate module for each one. In this video, I'm joined by Microsoft MVP Gokan Ozcifci, who will deep dive into single-class document extraction. Gokan, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Vlad. And yes, you pretty amazingly explained this. I guess people already know me, but hey, my name is Gokan, and I'm going to be part of the SharePoint Content AI series explaining you about a few modules. And then we also have a bunch of other videos, as you probably mentioned in other videos. Please see and check them. Do you want to add something on that slide, Vlad?
Sure, yeah. So this is part 5 of the Ultimate SharePoint Content AI series. So of course, if you've been watching the series, well, I hope you've been enjoying it so far. If this is the first video that you joined us on, after you're done with this video, make sure you check out all the other videos so you learn not only how to use extraction for unstructured data, but all the other options you have with SharePoint Content AI as well.
Absolutely. So if I take it now over, and thank you so much, Vlad, for the nice introduction. We have multiple models today with SharePoint Content AI. And we will see all of them. But today's focus is going to be on the unstructured, on a single class, which is in the middle. SharePoint Content AI or SharePoint Premium offers you a bunch of models that you could use in order to extract data, in order to extract information from your data and use that in multiple other forms. And today's is the most complex one, and that's what I tell to my customers. The single class is the most complex model that you could use because it's the SharePoint based one. It's up to you to define the extractors. It's up to you to define the knowledge. It's up to you to define the logic in your model in order to get all that data. We will talk about the semi-structured and the semi-structured in another video, but today it's all going to be on the SharePoint based one. We also refer this as the teaching model, and basically you will extract sentences or a specific region in a document. So we will go in our document in our model and tell it like, this is the piece of info you need to extract to me and bring that into my column. Models are created into content centers. And is applied to the document library where you create that. So you can either create the model in a document library and apply it to that document library, or you can easily go to a content center and then create that model into that content center and then apply it to any document library you have access to. The biggest thing that I think is phenomenal with those models is that it can be associated to a content type, right? For those who have been using SharePoint for a long time, and you have been doing that, right? From an information architecture perspective, it's phenomenal to be able to reuse the content types, the site columns you already have in your site, and not always create new content types for each model you create. 2 words that you need to learn is the classifier and the extractor. The classifier is to determine the type of the document, and the extractor is the data that we want to pull out and bring that into our document library. And the good thing is that we are not limited by the AI bullet credits, which is on the structured side of the story.
Awesome.
Right? It's pretty awesome. I don't really like slides. I only have like one more slide, and then we'll deep dive into the demo.
Knowing you, I'm surprised you have that many already. Usually,
I know.
It's like Gokan hates slides.
Only a few slides. And I also did prepare for you comparison slide between the unstructured and the structured. We will now look on the unstructured side of the story. You'll see that the model creation is done in SharePoint. The classification type is the classifiers and extractors, as explained. The supported file types, we have to give it 4 good and one bad option to select from. And then you'll see all the metadata support, supported regions, the cost, capacity, and so on, which will be easier in a demo. Is that good, Vlad? Shall we go for the demo?
Well, I can't wait to see it live.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. Now,
Seeing is believing.
Okay, now, before we go into the creation of the model, I want to highlight something which is really important to me. When you go as an admin to the admin.microsoft.com website under the setup on the left side, well, you will see completely below the activate pay-as-you-go services. When you click on it, well, you can basically enable pay-as-you-go for two different things. First one is the Syntex services. It's a bit slow at the moment. We'll just hang on.
Give it a few seconds.
Yeah, there we go. So we have the Syntex services, which is basically OCR, document translation, autofill, all the content AI part that we want to show actually in these videos, and then agents in SharePoint. If you click on Syntex services, well, you see that you can bring that to your Azure subscription, which a video is already available and you can go and click on it. But the most important part is the settings pane. Here you can see all the services we have for Content AI, and basically you can just here enable or disable that service for your SharePoint. I told you we go for the unstructured document processing. We have it here, and if you click on it, well, you see a few options. Well, I can let people create, train, and apply models to process files. I can enable or disable that option. And then on the right side, well, I can go for the number of sites. I could easily say, okay, all sites can use that functionality. I can edit this and say, okay, I'd like to go for up to 100 sites. And then I can just upload a CSV file and then say, okay, only those files can just use the unstructured document processing. And here you will see the content center. The bad thing with that is I can rename the content center, but it looks like from the UI side, I cannot change the content center address. And if I'm correctly in my demo environment, if I click on it, well, you will see that this is not existing anymore. So just bear in mind that from the UI, you cannot change the default content center. You can always create more content centers, but the default one is not being able to change from here. Now, let's say we enable this and we leave it as I showed for everyone. Anyone can create that on each site. I'm very happy with that. I'll go and create a new SharePoint site. I'll click on create, and then it will pop up me if I like to go for a team site or communication. Let's go for a team site. And once you enable the pay-as-you-go services, you will see that you will get two new templates. The account payable and the contracts management from Syntex. You could use those, which I really like, but you can also go for standard team site. I'll go for a standard team site, click here, and then say Vlad Talks Tech, and then for the unstructured document processing. I'll click here, click on next, and then create the site. And I'm just doing that live just to show you that nothing is scripted, and if it fails, it's all about SharePoint, not Gokan's fault, right?
It's never Gokan's fault. That's what I learned.
There you go. I'll click on finish, and now I should see my brand new site. I have here a document, my document library, my shared document library. If I click here,
You gotta give it a second.
I know, my gosh.
You said it was SharePoint's fault, and now it's taking its revenge.
I think so. There you go. You can see I have the shared document library. And here, when you click on the three dots, well, somewhere here you should see classify and extract. Basically, when you enable the pay-as-you-go services and you have enabled the unstructured document processing in your SharePoint, well, that classify and extract button should appear here. If you click on that one, well, you will see two tabs. First one is the available, and all the available models, if you have created them, will appear here.
Awesome.
And then you can see the applied ones on the left side. Here, I'm going to create a new model. It will say, hey, okay, you can do that. Do you want to activate it? Yes, I'm going to activate this. And it's going to take a couple of seconds, and it says, okay, it has been activated. Create your model. And this is where I was talking about, the single class and then the structured forms just here. Single class, the most complex, the SharePoint one. If you click on it, it's going to give you a bunch of examples, right? What you can do, what file types are supported, the languages supported, and so on and so on. Basically, information. Click on next, and then give it a name. What shall we do? How should we call it? I have like a few Uber invoices. Shall we go for Uber invoices?
Yeah, we should go Gokan's expenses.
Gokan's travel expenses.
There we go.
There we go. a few description, and here under the advanced settings, well, remember I told you can choose either to create a new content type or select an existing content type. And this is, I think, the most important thing for information knowledge managers, because they already have that content types and side columns, and they already prepared a bunch of stuff. And then you can just create your content type, add your columns into it, and then make reference here. But as this is a brand new site, we don't have a content type, unfortunately, so we'll create a new one.
Sounds good.
And then you can basically apply some sensitive labels, right? I can say it's internal use, public, encrypted, highly confidential, and you can also apply some retention labels. Here I have one, which is Neoxy customers never to be deleted. You can easily apply that retention label, and that data will never be deleted.
Awesome.
All for you just here. Let's create that. Now, within SharePoint, I'm getting a new tab. Within my site, I have that SharePoint Syntex-ish experience where I have 4 main pillars. First one, I have to add example of files, then I have to classify and run the training, and then I have to create the extractors. Like I have to say, this is the value I want you to extract and put into my column, and the last one is applying this to a model. Okay, first one, add files. I'm gonna come here and upload some files. Here under my sessions, Syntex, I should have something called Uber. Let's say I have 5 invoices, travel expenses. I'm going to upload them just here and then say add.
And those are all valid?
Yes, that's what I'm going to ask. Remember how much good and how much bad I needed, Vlad?
At least 5 good and 1 bad.
Almost 4 goods and 1 bad. You need 5 in total.
Well, can you give it more than 4?
Absolutely. The more you have, the more accurate it's going to become. But that's the minimum.
Okay, so I just went above and beyond. I said at least 5 good.
There you go. So I have like 3 goods. I need to add more. So I'm going to come back here and then again select like, let's go. I don't remember which one I added, so I'm going to just add those.
Will it tell you?
No, it's just going to, like 5 here. And then I'm going to just add 1 bad. I'm going to just come back here. Nope. I'm going to upload files and then come here and then just choose a Word file, just, to show you that this is working with PDF files as well as with Word files. And then I'll just select all of that and add this just here. Now you will see I have my 5 good ones and 1 negative, 1 bad one.
Okay.
Second step is train the classifier. I need to tell to my AI model if this is a good document, the negative, the good document, or the bad document, which is negative. Yeah. So this Word document, Vlad, this was a bad one, right? So this is not a good travel experience. And you'll see that this is now negative. This one is a correct one, yes. This is a correct one, yes. It's a bit monkey work, but all of that is cool. And you will see now this is negative, which is cool, and all of that is positive.
Cool.
Right? Now, I'll click on train, and here is the most important part of the story. I need to tell to my AI model how it should know that this is a valid invoice. And Microsoft gives you a bunch of options in order to do that. You can either go for a blank explanation or from a template. Let's go for blank. If you click on blank, you give it the name. So remember, I had like Uber invoices.
Yeah.
What would be the best thing to search in my invoice in order to say this is the Uber invoice?
Probably Uber.
There you go. Like, let's go.
You don't have to think too hard.
Let's see, go Uber name. And then here on the explanation type, I have like a phrase list, which could be a word, pattern, phrases, numbers, other characters, an expression, or a proximity. Like you can tell to your model, here is the word I'm looking for. But in our case, we'll go for words because we'll look for Uber, right?
Yeah.
Look how easy it is. I'll just click on U, and you will see the word Uber already coming into my list, right? It already knows that I'm looking here for, so I'm going to just accept this by clicking on tab and then say save and train. Now, you will see under the evaluation tab, it's going to check for all the documents if it sees Uber, yes or no, and on the upper right corner, well, you will see the accuracy score.
Okay.
How much do I have? 100. that means it's perfect.
That means, but the 100 just means it has at least, it found Uber inside.
Yes.
Okay.
If you get less than 100, it's always okay, but I always tell to my customers, don't ever go below 95-ish.
Yeah, I mean, if you cannot get 95-ish on your examples, your other stuff that users submit is not going to be as good.
There you go. And that's what I always say, try. And if not, add more explanations. Could go blank, could go from template. We'll see all of
it. Could be, can I search for can I add the word destination, for example, maybe, or things like that. So
if it makes sense,
just stuff that would appear in every
or
type of document.
Absolutely. Or if you always pay with your American Express, just add something with American Express. If you always start from your home address, use that as an explanation.
Okay.
And that will help your model to understand that this is the invoice that you're looking for.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Now we are done. We just click on test. I'm not testing anything. I'm happy with the accuracy score. And then I'm exiting the training. So pretty easy, right? We already did two.
So far, so easy.
So easy. And then finally, we'll go to the extractor. I need to tell my model what info I want to have from that one. And the one that I'm always looking for is the money.
The most important part.
How much did it cost? So let's create value. And here under the advanced settings, well, within your content type, you can either create a new column or you can use an existing one. Again, from the information architecture perspective, the IKEA managers love this because they can reuse the columns.
And we know people love their content types. People that invested in content types love their content types. So, yeah.
So in our case, I can't really use an existing one because we don't have anything specific, but we'll go for the new one, and I'm going to just retype this, and then you can choose for the column type. I'll go for single line of text just for...
Could you choose money, number, currency, all of that?
Not that detailed. You only have 3 or 4. Let me show that. Let me go back maybe just for you. This is my extractor value. I'll create a new one. If you come here, let's say value 2. It's not that extensive. And I know you love Power Platform and all the Dataverse stuff, but this is 3 or 4 or 5, 5 things that you could choose. Single line of text, multiple line of text, date and time, number, and URL. That's it.
Okay.
Which is fair enough.
Which is fair enough. The number, I think, would be a good one for this one.
There we go. No, well, I'll just took that one, but...
Perfect.
Here.
Oh, no. It's just I wanted to know.
There we go. When you create that value here, well, you can easily also come here, click on it, or... What's really nice as well, and here you can select that one, and you can see refine extracted info. And that's what you get with the pay-as-you-go services. Well, remember, with document libraries, you get that bulk operations, that with pay-as-you-go services, you get way more in your models. Keep one or more of the first values, or remove duplicate values, or set default value. All of that you can do. So if you extract some value, but it has nothing, well, you can just say, okay, set the default value, which is 100 as an example, or
0 or 5 or whatever.
There you go. If the address is empty, always go by default from my home address, something like that. So you can always use this option to fill in.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's very powerful. Not everyone knows that this exists within my models, but you can always do that. Nevertheless, I have my value. I'm going to click on it. And again, it's the same. I need to tell to my model which one is the good, which one is the bad invoice. Remember the word one? This has no label. I'm going to click on no label and then click on next file. This will save automatically my response and you will see the value here. We look for the value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select the value I want to extract and then click on next. I'm going to select the value and then click on next. Select the value, click on next, select the value, click on next. And finally, here you see that this is unstructured. The value is, it changed again somehow, somewhere. So I need to choose this one and then click on save. Now you will see all the values that I want to extract and put into my column called value just here under the label. I click on train. Again, the same. Explanations. We use the blank. Let's now go for templates. Microsoft provides you a bunch of options for explanations. Email addresses, email sender, email subject, credit cards, percentage, a bunch of things that you could use. What I always use is the after label and before label. Okay. So I have my value, if I have a pattern before my value and after value. If I click on after value, you see here, it already pre-populated me something. And let me click on cancel. Look, always Gokan. So I have my value and there's a pattern. Value, Gokan. Value, $sign in the front. Value, $sign in the front, and Gokan in the back. So there's always a certain pattern before and after the value. So I'm gonna do from template, after label, add. It says Gokan and a temporary. I'm gonna accept that, very happy with that. You can add more. I'm gonna add a second one just to make sure, and then go for before. It says, okay, here you have the euro sign. I can add $sign.
Can I give him more options? Like it can be one of those 10 things?
You can add a $sign just here. You can add Gokan just here. Anything that you think makes sense, which can come before your label, you can add them here. You don't have to always rely on what AI is telling you.
Yeah.
99%.
But I love that it gives you ideas, especially as somebody that's new. It really guides you in the right direction.
When you have no idea in what to fill in, it already gives you 2 examples. Like, hey, this is what I found. This is a pattern in your data that you can extract and add it. And that's how I could understand how this was working.
Yeah.
Because from the documentation, honestly, was not an easy job. Let me call it that and stop it here. So I'm going to just remove Gokan, add a $sign, and then click on save. Now, I have it all. Very easily click on train. Now, again, it will check for all the explanations. See if there's a match, and look, you can see it is green, it is green, it is green, and my accuracy score is again 100%. So we did a great job. Fantastic. Test and exit the training. And the only thing that remained to us to do is applying that model to a document library. We can either do that into the shared one, or you know what, let's create a document library specifically here for. And I'm gonna just come here. Or you know what, we'll just, apply that on the shared document library. Nevertheless, it's going to be the same. And we're going to add it just here. And that one will be applied here. I'm going to close this. Why I did that is just to show you here, we applied this on the shared document library, but we can always create a new one and then click on add document library. And then if the document library exists, we can apply that model into multiple document libraries in your site. So that's one of the cool things that you could do. Now I have my documents just here. Well, you would see on the first instance, you would say nothing really changed, right? It is what it is. Unless you go on your view and change to Gokan's travel expenses.
So it creates a view with the same name as your model.
Look what I have here, value. Remember the column we created? It is here. So now if I go for upload and then say, okay, I'm going to upload my Uber invoices, all of them, you'll see something brand new, which is Content AI related. It's gone now, but basically it tells you
we'll pause it. We'll pause it in the recording to show it.
Yeah, it basically tells you like, hey, okay, we're analyzing your files, and within a couple of seconds you'll see your value extracted. What I really love is that you see here a few data that's phenomenal to you. The processed status, as well as a bunch of information that you could use in order to know if the processing was failed or not.
Yeah.
We know, and it's in the roadmap, that Microsoft is now adding a process status into your models. And there you go. It's finished. Like you can see it straight up, very fast. Like you can see the value, and let's check the value if it's correct. 3629. I click on my Uber 003, and let's see. 3629.
Nice.
Phenomenal. Very quickly. And let me just refresh to see if the 2 others are finished.
You got to close your eyes when you refresh. It always works better. No.
Still not. So
you're peeking through that's why.
So basically that's how it works. Very easy. You can easily come here, upload any data, and then you will see the status. You will see the value extracted into your.
So really the advantage with that, it doesn't matter if it's at the top left, at the bottom right, as long as we know we have a value, maybe a $sign or before, Gokan after. It will look throughout the document as long as it finds that pattern.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter start or end, it will still be able to find it.
Absolutely. So that was all about the unstructured document processing. Very quickly, we created a model. And then, like if you want to modify your model, easily go to classify and extract. Just here, you will see the applied model. If you go to the model details, well, you can either remove it from the library or manage the model. And then you will come back into the model builder. And then you can add more extractors. So if you want to add, let's say, the customer name or the VAT or, I don't know, the destination address. Well, you just click on the new extractor, you give it a value, let's say address, and then just click on create, or I already have that too, create, and now a new extractor will be built for you. And then you can again do the same steps. Say which one is a good one, which one is a bad one, and then train it with the explanation from blank or from a template.
So Gokan, I know I need to set up pay-as-you-go to make this happen.
Absolutely.
Is it free after?
No. Well,
no. I tried.
Well, it is. You have to pay for it, and we have, I think, in other videos about the pricing, right? But what I tell to my customers, and without spoiling it a lot, because I want people watching the licensing part as well, especially the pay-as-you-go part of the story. What I tell to my customers is to use the SharePoint model only if they don't have AI Builder credits in their environment, because, as you said, it's a certain cost to have credits. This one comes with no AI Builder credits on top of it, so it's very easy to use. Well, very easy to use. It is quite okay to use because,
if I remember correctly, it's half a cent per page.
There you go, per processing thing. Yes, that's correct.
So it's half a cent per page per value that we extract?
Yes.
Okay, so if I want to have, I know the amount now, if I also want to get the taxes, like you said, the VAT, that would be another amount. So where I'm getting to 1 cent per page now.
Something like that per page. It's very peanuts-ish. But again, it's a cost that you have to calculate. We only talk about the pages, but if you have like thousands of pages, you need
of course, they will add up. But still, it's a great ROI when you compare it to doing it manually.
Oh my gosh, like we had customers, using some tools to extract only a few data, paying thousands and thousands and thousands of euros, while with SharePoint, it's very accessible and easy to do. So very glad with the unstructured data processing. And I hope you enjoyed and you learned a few stuff.
I learned a lot of things today, Gokan. Thank you so much for the amazing presentation. I really learned a lot. And for those of you watching, go ahead, try it out. It's one of the 3 ways that it's the second out of 3 that Gokan will teach us how to extract content from our documents. So make sure, first of all, that you check out the other videos in the series. And if you want to connect with Gokan, all the links for his X, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and all the other social networks are in the description below. So thank you so much. Looking forward to see you in the next one.